just west of Salt Lake City on the southern shores of the famed Great Salt Lake, road racing's newest jewel, Miller Motorsports Park, today hosts the Utah Grand Prix, Round 5 of the American Le Mans Series on CBS Sports. This facility is so new, in fact, today's event marks its first professional sports car race.
Now in qualifying, Audi dominated front row, both cars, first time here at the track. Porsche, on the other hand, had been quick all the way up to qualifying, and I think they were sandbagging a little bit and haven't showed us everything they've got. I think in the race we're going to see a different story.
Hi, I'm Frank Wheeler from Germany.
Ciao, I'm Emanuele Pirro from Rome, Italy.
I'm Sascha Maaßen from Germany.
I'm Lucas Luhr from Germany.
Hi, I'm Thomas Enge. I'm from Czech Republic.
I'm Darren Turner from Banbury, England.
Hello, I'm Jaime Melo from Brazil.
Hi, I'm Mika Salo from Finland.
Brian Till, we understand after GT2 qualifying some developments.
Yes, Greg, Calvin talked about how fast the Ferrari was. It did qualify on the pole, but they damaged 2 tires in qualifying. They replaced those. The rules say you replace more than 1 tire, you have to go to the back. The 62 will start from the rear, but so will the number 23, Alex Joe, Porsche. They were found to be a little too low with their ride height after qualifying and post-inspection. They, too, will have to start from the back.
All right, so they start at the back, but at the front we are ready to go. And a little bit ragged, but green nonetheless, and the 2 Audis lead us in and down to the front straight, but look at James Weaver in tow, way to the inside. Weaver now moves outside, looks again inside. A great qualifying effort for the Dyson Lola, but not able to get around the wall really put up by those 2 Audis side by side. And now they slot in behind. That was exciting, and obviously Alan McNish, looking racy early, wanted to try the outside, decided, better time to wait.
But look also how much movement is in.
Oh, he's off.
And Beal is off on the outside, very quick corner, first lap. The Dyson slips into second place.
We were jumping on that opportunity, and he was racing from the beginning as well, and suddenly McNish to the lead, a little bit of a gap now. Bila going to immediately try and attack Weaver. Let's look at GT1 category right now, led by the 007 Aston Martin. Darren Turner driving his teammate Stefan Sarrazin behind. Interestingly, splitting those cars from the 2 Corvettes right now are Liz Halliday in the Intersport P2 Lola and Brian Willman in the number 12 Jean Richard Lola in P1. That's not what the vets wanted, and it's certainly they need to stay as close as they can, I would think. There's a look at the Ferrari that again started almost dead last. He is already on the move up through the pack. Jamie Mello, teammate, is driving, and Mike Rockenfeller in the number 23 Alex Job Racing Bell Micro Porsche. Very, very good in the opening lap, as you would expect of Rocky driving a Porsche, and moves up very smartly and gets around that Ferrari. Here is the number 16 of James Weaver, who has slipped to 3rd overall, as Bila did get by him, and I think you're right, Calvin. It certainly looked a little whiter than the dust you might see here. We'll keep an eye on that. Nonetheless, he certainly still is moving quickly and going through traffic very well, but he did drop that 1 position as Bila was able to get by him.
Oh!
Bila got into the Ferrari, and he is on the curb.
Put his nose in there, got it squeezed, then got up on the curb. He's back underway.
I think the mistake there was he thought he could get through and that the Milo would just move over, but he was trying to get by. But he was trying to get by the Panos.
Sascha Maaßen apparently having some sort of a problem on the track that precipitated the action. They're back out and running at speed right now.
Calvin, you were right when you said Sascha Maaßen was in the thick of the action, and I checked with John Erickson, the team manager there on the number 6, and he said that's exactly why we brought Sascha in. We're within our fuel window for our first stop. He was in the thick of the action. He could not get past Weaver. We were mired up there, and we just said, let's take the time to do it now. Now, there was some confusion as to whether they would double stint those tires, keep them on the car, and the tire engineer looked at him and said, no, let's go ahead and change them. So they took a load of fuel, took 4 fresh Michelin, and he's back underway. But it was all a strategic call.
Jamie Mello from the last position on the grid in the Ferrari has augured his way up through the pack. He has latched onto the back of the Peterson White Lightning Porsche, the MM Pi entry, and he has got Patrick Long well and truly in his sights right now, and it hasn't taken him long to do it.
No, and you don't know what's going on in traffic. Look here, he's making the pass right there. Long not giving up much. We've seen some great battles in GT2 throughout the race so far. but I think when Jamie Mellow's last lap was 2 seconds faster than Patrick Long, that car is obviously very, very hooked up.
It's really hooked up, and after qualifying, I think all of the Porsche guys really felt they may be in a battle for second position here today.
Alan McNish is climbing out. Dindo Capello will take over, and they will fuel this car. It will take a little bit longer. The diesel that goes in here is a little more thick. Now, the pit stop's taking a little bit longer on the R10 than it did on the R8, its predecessor. The wheelbase a little bit longer, so it takes the crew guys a little longer to get from one wheel to the other. And the wheel arch is a little bit smaller. The suspension doesn't move as much, so harder to get those tires in. But the service is done, and Capello is away.
As we get to this part of the race, we cycle through most of the pit stops, and it's one of the P2 Penske Porsches that's leading, Danny. Did you foresee this happening?
Well, I foresaw that they were very quick and they'd been quick in practice, but I didn't see that they'd changed their strategy and pit so early, 33 minutes into the race. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but they've been running as fast as time as McNish did in the 24, so these cars are quick.
Now, of course, we want to bring you up to date as to just how the number 6 Porsche did find itself in the overall lead, particularly if you're just joining us. It's been an interesting evolution. Alan McNish in the Audi was out front in the number 1 car, but watch this move right here as a great pass for second when it unfolded here as the number 6 Porsche made the move, picked up the second spot. Then, of course, when Alan McNish brought the car, when then leader Frankie Biela brought the leading Audi in, that allowed, of course, the Porsche to go on by when that car was sitting stationary in the pits and pick up the lead.
Maston's car has absolutely come alive. After that stop they did very early in the going, they in fact stopped after 32 minutes here. His car has just been sensational, and as the fuel load goes away, the car just seems to be getting faster and faster.
Meanwhile, here's our leader in GT2, Jamie Mello, bringing the Ferrari in, and Heather is there.
According to plan for the 62 Ferrari, they're able to stick to their strategy thanks to efficient fuel consumption, hoping to just do one stint. Now, very frustrating day for Ferrari, as you mentioned, because of a tire problem. They started last after running fast all week long, forced them to the back of the grid. They've got 4 new tires, a full fuel cell. They're looking for their first checkered flag of the season and hope to do it on one stint, guys.
Dindo Capello has brought his number 2 Audi in. It will be fuel only. They have topped it off. He's fired it up, and he's back underway.
Well, there's the strategy there. I thought they might put McNish back in with a fresh set of tires. They've decided to keep Capello out there and shorten the pit stop by not changing tires. Remember, the tires cannot be changed whilst the fuel is going in, so if you don't change tires, you do effectively save about 15 seconds in the pit lane there. But there's about an hour and 8 minutes left in this event, so the Audi diesel is certainly able to push their fuel window a little bit further. Meanwhile, the 1 car is in.
Sasha Maassen climbs from his Porsche Spider. Lucas Luhr will take over. It's a routine stop. Taking a little bit of time. Looked like he's struggling a little bit. Usually those belts done by now, but he is now finished. Crew going to work, getting the tires changed. Sasha Maassen gets out of the way. All 4 tires are on. Lucas Luhr will fire up his Porsche and get back underway.
He is going to be here. Where is Dindo Capello on the racetrack? Is he close enough to take advantage of this longer pit stop with the wheel change? So Lucas Luhr now looking for their first overall victory. The sister cars won overall at Mid-Ohio. These guys looking for their first victory of the year.
We're on board right now with Dindo Capello, the number 2 Audi Sport North America team champion Audi, and in fact, when he cycles through timing and scoring, he should be your race leader. He did go by while they were turning that car over to Lucas Luhr. Now, let's go back and check out what's unfolding in the great battle going on in GT2. And right now, Mika Salo is back behind the wheel of the number 62 Ferrari and still leading at this stage, however, doing a nice job, according to timing and scoring, up by almost 12 seconds at this point. The number 31 car, right now in the hands of Jörg Bergmeister, sits in the 3rd spot. We're on board with Jörg right now.
The key for that Ferrari, Greg, is it got past the halfway point, which means it should be good on fuel the rest of the way. They haven't done that all season long. They've been working on their fuel mileage, and certainly this high altitude means they're not using as much fuel. That's helped them out today. It could give them their first win.
And Butch also just made a pit stop while we were in break, a quick stop, but we also got a report that there was a spin on that, and of course our crack camera folks found it for us. And here's what happened to Butch right before his pit stop, Cal.
See him turned around. It's a little bit late in the spin there. I think that may be coming out of Black Rock, possibly. Or was that Diablo? Fuel is going in, and driver change again. Dumas going to be jumping back in.
Good to have a fresh bullet in the gun at the end. You've got good fuel, good tires, and a fresh driver. Romain Dumas certainly knows how to pedal this Porsche. He'll get it back underway here in just a second.
Well, I think that's a right now, because I think for the Penske Porsches to win this race overall, they're going to need a caution period, because Capello should assume the lead here.
And that is Romain Dumas, who was back out, but some big problems for that car, Calvin.
There was, and they really took apart the whole intake system there, trying to fix what we believe was a stuck throttle that Romain was experiencing. He had some offs. Here's one of them. They're just running wide. And that will happen as you lift off for a corner and the throttle just stays open. You're going to run wide, and Romain reported, I'm having issues here. Here's another one. Just can't get the car turned. The car's just pushing on. It's got acceleration that you're not wanting, is it, from a driver's perspective, and there's nothing you can do.
And here is the 6 car now in the hands of Lucas Luhr, the DHL Global Mail team entry, and they had a little bit of a moment as well. Lucas Luhr just had a slight off right here, Cal.
Just runs a little bit wide and it's pretty flat. That's the good news. There's no big ruts. You can see the car's not bucking around too much, but you certainly get some dust on the tires. And then you see the Audi coming up in the background, and that's Emanuele Pirro. He now goes down to the inside, down into turn 1, and sneaks through there. So that is for position, 2nd place overall. So the Audis now run 1-2.
Dumas very, very slow down the front stretch, and during one of the points during the stop, we thought we heard radio say, they asked Dumas how undrivable was it. We thought we heard him say pretty bad, terrible.
But right now the pits are closed, so we're going to see a full caution period here, and this is really going to help the number 6 car, the sister Porsche here, because that will close the gap between the Audis and the number 6 car that is running. So this is going to have a dramatic effect here as we get down to the final stages of this race. See the guys just weaving. We talk about the pickup on the tires, and that looks like Capello, the number 1 machine, Pirro. So the 2 car looks like it may have peeled off into pit lane. We saw 2 cars, and there it is.
Crew guys running out with left side tires only, so they must have gotten some report on the telemetry that there was a problem. No, they'll go to right side as well. A lot of pickup on the right side tires that came out of this Audi R10, so perhaps that was the problem, or telemetry told them that there was a tire going down. Either way, they've got 4 new Michelins. They're back on track.
Well, look at this. This is the other car. Look at him weaving back and forth. Look at Pirro, and watch for this piece of, see, look at the chunks right there.
Wow.
That are coming off. So obviously the pickup at this stage of this race, this deep into it, Calvin, is just unbelievable. Look at it.
And here we see the lead battle. Lucas Luhr right on the tail of Emanuele Pirro right now. So this is great stuff between the Audi and the Porsche.
You just saw the torque. The Audi drives away. The light weight of the Porsche under braking just streamed right back to it. And again, this caution helping Lucas Luhr immensely at this stage. And he is now in full-on pursuit of Pirro. And the margin officially, of course, was very close at the start-finish line. And it has stayed there. And we saw Pirro doing lots of weaving coming after he got
the green,
right,
which is very unusual. Normally these drivers try and get that tire scrubbed in before they get back to green, but Pirro was still feeling it as they took the green flag. You see them really stretch their legs down this front straightaway, 2/3 of a mile in length. But through the infield, it'll be interesting to see whether Lucas Luhr has anything for Pirro right now.
There is that's the 007 right now of Thomas Enge, back out after that longish stop.
Still has the lead, though. I think he may have got a break. When we went to caution there, I think he got split from the rest of the GT1 field by the overall leader and essentially gained the best part of a lap.
Thomas Enge in that 007 car was in the pits during the yellow. It had a broken alternator belt. They replaced it in under a minute. Huge kudos to the pit crew. They also got 4 new tires and a splash of fuel, but it looks like 007's pit crew actually preparing for him to come back in. They've radioed in that there's a puncture in the tire, so we'll see if he gets a new Pirelli before this one's finished out.
After getting a break like that, Calvin, to then have a puncture perhaps take it away.
But I think he's got the margin, Greg. I think he's got the ability with the gap over the rest of the field to make another pit stop and still hold on to the lead. So the Aston Martin team going for 2 in a row. They won at Lime Rock. Graf off the road.
Graf off.
He's running second in class. The Ferrari leads. Wow, Graf just never got it turned in. Very similar to what we saw with Dumas when he had the stuck throttle there. So I don't know whether, look at the radiator. Final few turns here. Pirro has so much experience in the Audi race cars. He would love to get a victory here today with his teammate. One more left-hander. This is Clubhouse, I believe they're coming into.
Yep.
Is he close enough? That final turn, you can sneak down the inside. Here he comes. He's close. Will Pirro defend?
Luhr comes in, but now I would think Audi diesel torque. Luhr gets a run, but there it is. The Audi starts to drive away, and they've done it. The defending series champions, the Le Mans champions, come back to the United States, to the American Le Mans Series, and they bring home a win from pole. Meanwhile, in GT1, Thomas Enge, even with that late stop, that break with that caution flag and the track position as a result, looks like Enge and teammate Darren Turner going to bring home, as you said, Calvin, the second straight win for Aston Martin.
Indeed, it looks like it's going to be a 1-2 for those guys in the Corvette squad. As we said earlier in the show, they are very unhappy about this performance balancing. They think the tables have been turned too far now, and the Corvettes are no longer competitive. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any adjustments prior to Portland. Here we see the GT2 leader, the Ferrari. We've talked about them being fast all season long, and right now, Mika Salo, the Finn, is just trying to bring it home through these final few turns and see if they can get to the top step of the podium today.
Boy, it looks good, and how sweet will this one be after poles, as we've said, but never being able to get the win. And a big development in this class very late in the going. Klaus Graf had a bit of an off, and Wolf Hensler took the 45 Portal player, or Porsche, back into it, and that was a result of getting onto the podium and points for Johannes van Overbeek. It was 2 years ago at Lime Rock that the last Ferrari win happened in the series, and now they get another one.
Emanuele, stirring drive, but how good does it feel to be back in the American Le Mans Series and back to your winning ways?
It feels good, but let me put a word for our sister car. You know, Alan McNish was driving really strong, and I don't know what Dindo did because he was driving with me, but of course they were unlucky with the puncture. But I think we did a strong race, and we came back in the best possible way. Of course, our focus is to help the other car to win the championship, but let us have a little bit of glory.
Okay, Thomas and Darren, great drive today. Didn't seem like you had any problems until late in the race. Lucky with the yellow.
Well, I tell you, we were really lucky with the yellow flag. We just gained one lap ahead of Corvette and our sister car, but at that time we had problem with alternator belt, which went down, and I have to pit, change tires, refuel the car. The guys did a tremendous job. They did it in all about 1.5 minutes, changed the alternator belt.
In GT2, the fifth different winner in as many races. Mika Salo, you guys did it from the back of the grid. How did you overcome this entire field?
Well, Jamie did all the work really, so he did a really good first stint, so he left me just to control the lead, and car was really good all weekend. It was just easy to drive. We didn't do any mistakes all weekend, and the race was just under control all the time. It was really good.